The Adventures of Little Drop. Little Drop lives in the great big ocean with Daddy Drop, Mommy Drop, and Little Sister Drop. He loves to splash and lay all day long. One day, Little Drop and his family went playing near the surface of the ocean to visit his Uncle Sleet, Aunt Hale and his cousins, Frosty and Snowflake. Little Drop loves to play with his cousins. The sun made him feel warm and energetic. All of a sudden, Little Drop started to rise out of the ocean. He looked around and saw Daddy Drop, Mommy Drop, and Little Sister Drop start to rise, too. Even his Uncle Sleet and Aunt Hale, along with his cousins, were rising up higher and higher. "What's going on, Daddy Drop?" Little Drop asked as the whole family continued to rise up into the sky. "We are evaporating, Little Drop." "It's okay. This is all part of the great water cycle," reassured Daddy Drop. Once they were miles up in the sky, Little Drop and his family joined millions of other drops just like him to make a cloud. Then, the mighty wind started to blow. He blew Little Drop and the rest of the cloud thousands of miles away. "Will I ever see my beloved ocean again?" thought Little Drop. Soon, Little Drop could see land far below him. He could see houses and rivers, farms and cities, cars and lots of trees. As the cloud got closer to the mountains, Uncle Sleet said, "You folks will probably fall here, but Aunt Hale and the kids and I are going to go a bit farther north. We'll see you all in a couple weeks." "Bye," said cousins Frost and Snowflake. "Bye," said Little Drop and Little Sister Drop. "Wait a minute, Daddy Drop," said Little Drop. "Did Uncle Sleet just say fall?" "Yes, Little Drop. But it won't hurt. Remember, this is all part of the great water cycle. We are about to become the part of rain. This is how we'll get back to the ocean," replied Daddy Drop. Little Drop started to shiver. Little Sister Drop started to shiver, too. "I'm cold," she said. "When we get cold, the sky can't hold us any longer and we get to fall as rain," said Daddy Drop. Then, it happened and they fell out of the sky. They were now rain. Little Drop plopped onto the leaf of a tree, slid to the edge and fell some more. He fell into a puddle under a tree. Little Sister Drop fell right beside him. "Where's Daddy and Mommy Drop?" Little Sister Drop asked. "I don't know, Little Sister Drop." "Let's swim to that creek and find them," said Little Drop. They held hands and swam from the puddle into the creek. The creek was babbling along quite happily down the hill. It made Little Drop and Little Sister Drop smile. They babbled right along with the creek. As they made their way through the hillside, they saw all kinds of creatures: deer, squirrels, beavers. It wasn't long until their little creek joined a river. There were lots and lots of other drops in the river, but none of them were Daddy and Mommy Drop. As they went down the river, they saw houses and people fishing. There were even some small boats. All of a sudden, Little Drop and Little Sister Drop were sucked into an opening on the side of the river. It was a pipe that led to a water pump. Around and around they swirled in the pump until they were thrust at super high speed through another long pipe. Little Drop and Little Sister Drop fell out of a kitchen faucet and into a sink full of dirty dishes. "Wee!" yelled Little Drop as they played up and down the dishes. Little Sister Drop enjoyed it just as much as Little Drop did. After all the dishes were cleaned, the plug was pulled from the sink and a whirlpool formed in the sink. Round and round and round went Little Drop and Little Sister Drop. They slid down the drain and down through more and more pipes. It was the longest water slide in the world. Finally, they came out of the pipe and were dumped back into the river. There were docks for the boats and more people fishing. After a couple of more days, they drifted past a very tall lighthouse standing watch over the entrance to a harbor. Little Drop and Little Sister Drop were back in the big ocean. A wave splashed nearby. It was Daddy Drop. There was Mommy Drop, too. Little Drop was so happy to see his parents again. They looked at them and there were Uncle Sleet, Aunt Hail, and his cousins, Frost and Snowflake. They were all together again in the big ocean. I was afraid I would never see you again, Little Drop told Daddy Drop. Oh, Little Drop, don't even be afraid, reassured Daddy Drop. It is just part of the great water cycle. Water always comes back to the ocean. Whenever we go through the great water cycle, we always come back here. If we get separated, sooner or later, we'll see each other again. From that day on, Little Drop looked forward to the sun warming him up and sending him high into the sky. He was always excited to be part of the great water cycle. Little Drop had many more adventures in the great water cycle.